Hi, I'm Ethan. 3 weeks ago, I buried my dad. Cancer took him at 52, way too young, and I was still walking around in a fog when my Uncle Marcus showed up at my apartment uninvited. Ethan, we need to talk. He didn't wait for an invitation, just pushed past me into the living room. Uncle Marcus, I'm really not in the mood right now. This can't wait. He sat down on my couch like he owned the place. Your father's estate needs to be settled. I rubbed my face. Dad's lawyer said we have time. The will is clear. Everything goes to me and Mom. That's what I want to discuss. His tone shifted, got sharper. Your father promised me things, Ethan. Verbal agreements that aren't in that will. What are you talking about? The lake house. He told me years ago I could have it. We had an understanding. I stared at him. Dad never mentioned anything like that to me. Of course he didn't. It was between brothers. Marcus leaned forward. But I have witnesses. Your Aunt Linda heard him say it. So did my business partner, Frank. If it's not in the will can be contested, Ethan. I'm just trying to do this the easy way, family to family. Your dad would want us to work this out peacefully. Something in his voice made my stomach turn. I need to talk to Mom about this. Your mother isn't thinking clearly right now. Grief does that to people. He stood up, looming over me. I'll give you a week to think it over, but I'm getting what your father promised me one way or another. Is that a threat? It's a promise, just like your father made to me. After he left, I called my best friend, Jake. Dude, your uncle sounds like a piece of work, Jake said when I finished explaining. I don't know what to do. Is he serious about contesting the will? My cousin's a paralegal. Let me ask her. But Ethan, if your dad wanted him to have that house, he would have put it in the will, right? Exactly, that's what's bothering me. How much is this property worth anyway? The lake house alone, probably $400,000, maybe more. Jesus, no wonder he's circling like a vulture. The investment accounts are worth even more. Dad was careful with money. So Marcus is after what? Close to $1 million? Maybe more than that. I haven't seen all the statements yet. Watch yourself around him. People get crazy over money. 2 days later, my mom called, frantic. Ethan, Marcus came by the house today. What did he want? He brought papers. He wants me to sign something saying your father verbally promised him the lake house and half the investment accounts. Her voice cracked. He was so insistent, honey. He kept saying it's what your father would have wanted. Don't sign anything, Mom, did you? No, I told him I needed my lawyer to review it first. He got angry, Ethan. I've never seen him like that. He started yelling about how we're disrespecting your father's memory. I'm coming over right now. When I got to Mom's house, my Aunt Linda was there. She looked uncomfortable. Ethan, I'm sorry about all this, she said quietly. Did Dad really promise Uncle Marcus the lake house? She glanced away. Marcus says he did. That's not what I asked. Did you personally hear Dad say that? Well, they talked about it. Linda, I kept my voice level. Yes or no? It's complicated, Ethan. Your father and Marcus had a complex relationship. That sounds like a no. Linda twisted her hands together. Marcus has been under a lot of stress. His business isn't doing well. He needs... So this is about money, not about what Dad wanted. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. I turned to my mom. We need to call Dad's lawyer first thing Monday morning. Monday morning, I sat across from Sarah Chen, my dad's estate attorney. Mom was beside me, clutching her purse. Let me be very clear, Sarah said, flipping through the will. Your father was meticulous about this document. We revised it 6 months ago. He made no mention of any promises to his brother. Could Marcus contest it anyway, I asked. He can try, but without documentation or credible witnesses, he won't get far. Sarah leaned back. However, I'm concerned about something else. Has Marcus asked either of you to sign any documents? Mom nodded. He brought papers saying my husband made verbal promises. Don't sign anything without running it by me first. People sometimes try to create evidence after the fact. Sarah's expression darkened. I've seen families destroy each other over estates. What should we do? Document everything, every conversation, every interaction. If he contacts you, save texts, emails, record calls if your state allows it. And Ethan, be careful. Contested estates can get ugly. How ugly are we talking? I once had a case where siblings didn't speak for 20 years. Another where someone ended up in jail. She closed the file. Your uncle sounds desperate. Desperate people make poor decisions. He mentioned having witnesses, his business partner, Frank. Frank Morris? Sarah's eyebrows rose. I know him. He's been sued twice for fraud. Not exactly a credible witness. That afternoon, I drove to the lake house. It had been Dad's pride and joy. A cabin he'd built himself over 2 summers. I was checking the locks when Marcus's truck pulled up. Ethan, what are you doing here? Making sure everything's secure. This is our property now. Your property? He slammed his truck door. I told you, your father promised this to me. Then why isn't it in his will, Uncle Marcus? Because he didn't get around to updating it. We talked about it 2 months before he got sick. That's convenient timing. His face reddened. Are you calling me a liar? I'm saying if Dad wanted you to have this place, he had plenty of opportunities to make it legal. You little... He stepped closer, fists clenched. Your father would be ashamed of how selfish you're being. My father was thorough and organized. He wouldn't leave something this important to a verbal promise. Maybe you didn't know him as well as you thought. I knew him well enough to know when someone's lying about him. Marcus's jaw tightened. You're making a big mistake, nephew. I've got lawyers too. Then have them contact Sarah Chen. We're done talking. We're done when I say we're done. No, we're done now. Get off this property before I call the police. That evening, Jake came over with his cousin Rachel, the paralegal. So I did some digging, Rachel said, opening her laptop. Your Uncle Marcus filed for bankruptcy 18 months ago. His construction company is bleeding money. That explains the desperation, Jake muttered. There's more. I found 3 liens against his property and a pending lawsuit from a former client. Rachel turned the screen toward me. This inheritance isn't about honoring your dad's wishes. It's about saving himself from financial ruin. Can we use this information? Absolutely. It establishes motive for fabricating claims. If he takes this to court, his financial situation is relevant. Rachel clicked through more documents. I also checked property records. Your dad solely owned that lake house. Never any co-ownership, no transfer attempts, nothing. So Marcus has no legal claim? Not unless he can produce witnesses or documentation. And even then, verbal promises about property are notoriously hard to enforce. What about his business partner, Frank? Frank Morris? Rachel laughed. That guy's been in legal trouble for years. Any judge would see right through him. My phone buzzed. A text from Aunt Linda. Please call me. Important. I stepped into the next room. Ethan, I need to tell you something, Linda said when I called. Marcus has been pressuring me to lie for him, to say I heard your father make promises. Will you do it? She was quiet for a long moment. No, I won't perjure myself, but he's getting desperate. And when Marcus gets desperate, he gets dangerous. Please be careful. What do you mean, dangerous? Just watch yourself. I know my husband. The confrontation happened Friday afternoon at Mom's house. Marcus showed up with his lawyer, a slick guy named Brandon Kemp. Mrs. Patterson, Ethan, we're here to present a final offer, Kemp said, spreading papers across the dining table. We're not interested, I said. You haven't heard the terms yet. Kemp smiled condescendingly. My client is willing to forego claims to the investment accounts if you transfer ownership of the lake property. The answer is no. Ethan, be reasonable, Marcus interjected. I'm being more than fair here. Fair? You're demanding property that isn't yours. It is mine. Your father promised me. Mom stood up. Marcus, please leave. We're not doing this. Sit down, Patricia. The adults are talking. Don't speak to my mother like that. Marcus turned on me. You know what your problem is, Ethan? You're spoiled. You've had everything handed to you your whole life. Your father built that cabin with his hands, with my help. And you think you deserve it just because you're his son? I helped build that cabin too. Every summer since I was 12. Hammering a few nails doesn't make it yours. Kemp tried to intervene. Gentlemen, let's keep this civil. Civil? You want civil? Marcus's voice rose. My brother is dead and his kid is trying to rob me blind. That's enough. I stood up. You need to leave, now. I'm not going anywhere until we settle this. Then I'm calling the police. Marcus moved fast, faster than I expected. He grabbed my shirt, twisting the fabric in his fists. You're going to give me what I'm owed. Get your hands off me. He shoved me backward. I stumbled, caught myself on the table edge. Mom screamed, Marcus, stop. Stay out of this, Patricia. I pushed back against him. You need to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. He grabbed my arm, yanking hard. The pain was instant and excruciating. I felt my shoulder joint separate, felt something pop sickeningly out of place. I couldn't help the shout that tore out of me. Oh my God, Mom was crying. What did you do? Marcus released me, stumbling backward. My arm hung uselessly, the pain blinding. He pushed me first, Marcus stammered. You saw it, Brandon. He pushed me first. Kemp was pale. Mr. Patterson, we need to leave, now. I barely touched him. He's faking. I couldn't speak through the pain. Mom was on the phone with 911, her hands shaking. This is on you, Ethan. Marcus pointed at me as Kemp dragged him toward the door. You brought this on yourself. All you had to do was be reasonable. My client acted in self-defense, Kemp said quickly. We have a witness. Get out, Mom shouted. Get out of my house. They left. Within minutes, sirens filled the air. The ER doctor confirmed the dislocation and treated me while police took my statement. This is aggravated assault, Officer Martinez said, writing notes, especially given the injury severity. We'll need your mother's statement too. Will you arrest him? We're going to his house now. He'll be charged. Sarah met us at the hospital afterward. This changes everything, she said. Not only will his estate claim get thrown out, but the assault gives us leverage. We're filing a restraining order immediately and pressing full criminal charges. I just want this over. It will be, trust me. Cases like this, they rarely go to trial. Why not? Because the evidence is overwhelming. His lawyer witnessed the assault. Your mother called 911. You have medical documentation. Sarah tapped her pen on the table. Marcus will take a plea deal to avoid prison time. The next week moved fast. Marcus was arrested and charged with aggravated assault. The restraining order was granted. His attempt to contest the will was dismissed when his lawyer withdrew from the case entirely. Jake visited me the day before Marcus's arraignment. How's the shoulder? Getting better. Physical therapy sucks, but at least I can move it now. And your mom? Shaken up, but she's strong. She filed a restraining order too. Good. That guy is certified crazy. Jake sat down. Rachel told me Marcus tried to reach out to you through a third party. Yeah, Aunt Linda, he wanted to apologize, said if I dropped the charges, he'd forget about the inheritance. Please tell me you said no. I told her he can apologize to the judge. I'm not interested in his excuses. What did she say to that? She agreed with me, said she's filing for divorce. Apparently, this wasn't the first time he'd gotten violent. Damn, at least she's getting out. She deserves better, always has. The arraignment was short. Marcus pled not guilty, but Kemp's replacement looked like she knew it was hopeless. Mom's testimony, the medical records, and Kemp's own statement as a witness buried any self-defense claim. 2 months later, Marcus took a plea deal. 18 months in prison, restitution for my medical bills, and a permanent restraining order. The estate was settled entirely in Mom's favor. I saw Aunt Linda one last time at a coffee shop. She'd filed for divorce. I'm sorry about everything, Ethan, she said. I should have spoken up sooner. You did eventually. That matters. Marcus called me from jail. He wanted me to convince you to visit him. Absolutely not. That's what I told him. She sipped her coffee. He still doesn't think he did anything wrong. Keeps saying your father would forgive him. My father wouldn't have forgiven someone who hurt his family over greed, and neither will I. She nodded slowly. You're right. I hope you and your mother find peace. We will. We already are. A week later, I drove to the lake house with Mom and Jake. We spent the weekend there, making new memories in Dad's favorite place. Your father would be proud of you, Mom said on the deck, watching the sunset. You stood up for what was right. I just did what he taught me. Don't let people walk over you. He always said that, even when you were little. I remember. He lived by it too. Jake raised his soda can. To your dad. And to family actually meaning something. We clinked drinks as the sun disappeared behind the trees. The cabin was ours. The inheritance was secure. And Marcus was facing consequences for his actions. No reconciliation, no forgiveness, just justice. Some people don't deserve second chances. My uncle proved that when he chose greed over family, and I proved that standing up to bullies, even family bullies, is always the right choice. What would you do if a family member tried to steal your inheritance? Have you ever had to stand up to someone you once trusted? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true stories about karma and justice.